Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever it is you're watching this video, I hope your day's going pleasantly. Got 6 boosters here, Cons of Tarkir and Fate Reforged, and I've got them labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to open one of them up and then just talk for a little bit about what kind of combos are built into the deck, and I'm sorry, built into the booster and what the rare is good for, etc. Hopefully we'll get something worthwhile. Alright, let's see which pack we're opening up. Pack number 2. Alright, since we've got pack number 2, we're just literally going to open it up and see what's inside. See if it's anything good. I'll try not to take too much time, but I want this to be interesting. First card, common. Reach of Shadows. Destroy target creature that's one or more colors. That's actually not very useful in standard, but it's a good card. In limited if you get to that point. Because remember, when you get to 5 mana, you're also going to have the dragons start showing up. You're going to have, well, you're going to get a lot of things start showing up once you get to 5 mana. So being able to get rid of something that's one or more colors is actually pretty good. That's the first common. Second common is Harsh Sustenance, a wonderful card. Actually, 3 mana, dealing X damage to target creature or player, or X's number of creatures you control. In black and white, we have a lot of creature production. We have a lot of good production in general. This would go great in tiny leaders. This would actually be pretty good in a token deck, because this says target creature or target player. And it's actually possible to get up to 40 tokens in Commander, so it'd be worthwhile, I think, to play something like that. Next card, Pressure Point. This is another one of those cards that's better in limited. It's 2 mana, can instantly tap a creature, but you draw a card. You can look at it as a one-use type of a thing. Obviously, you're not going to get as much value out of tapping the creature every turn, but remember, you drew a card off of it, so you still got something out of it. In fact, you could argue that all you did was pay 1/1 white to tap a target creature. Even if you couldn't do it all the time, it might have been enough to slow down your opponent, giving you an extra turn, or made sure that one of those creatures couldn't block. In limited, when you go to 40 cards, this actually speeds you up quite a bit. So it's not a bad thing. It also triggers prowess. So you could possibly see this in standard. Let's see. Whisk Away. The blue removal spell. Wonderful card. Put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. That's pretty good, actually. In blue, being able to put something away for a turn, it gives you an option to counter it again when they try to cast it. If they block with something and you've got trample, your trample damage will go through. And it's blue because there's not much that has protection from blue in standard or in most of Magic, so it's a pretty good card. Sultai Emissary. This is another one of those cards that you get, you pay the 2 mana for 1/1, but when it dies, you manifest the top card. I got into a little bit of a discussion last Friday. We played a sealed draft. 3 boosters, and you drafted all the cards. He played manifest cards, but my opponent had actually managed to get Ugin. And so I said, well, what about manifesting? That's pretty good. And he says, yeah, but I don't want to manifest Ugin. And I stopped him and said, but then that means you could attack and kill somebody with Ugin for 2 damage at a time. That's pretty cool. And I said, yeah, but then I never get to cast him. I said, well, wait. You manifest him off the top of your library. It wasn't in your hand. As far as you care, Ugin could have been on the bottom of the library. You'd never have drawn it. So don't look at manifest as, oh, that's a card I'll never get to cast. Manifest is just putting the card into play under a different means. Whenever somebody mills cards or kills a creature that you manifest off the top, or even searches your library for a card and exiles it, it doesn't matter because you weren't going to draw that card anyway. You still got other cards you can draw. It's not like they're denying you the draw. My cat wants to play again. I know. Return to the Earth. A green destruction spell. Target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. 4 mana, instant card. Actually pretty good for green. It can get rid of some really good creatures in standard, in limited. It's a good sideboard card, at the very least. Think about it this way. You pay 1/1 green to destroy an artifact or an enchantment. For an extra 2 colors, you have the option of destroying a creature that has flying. That's pretty good. Great Horn Krushok. The vanilla creatures they put in Fate Reforged. They've gone out of their way with the vanilla creatures in the last couple of sets. 4/2 for 3. 3/5 for 5 in white. It's pretty good. Goblin Heel Cutter. When it attacks, target creature can't block this turn. Excellent card. It has the dash mechanic, so it's 3/1 red for 3/2. Dash for 2/1 red. It's actually a really good card. A shame it's not playable in Tiny Leader, and at 4 casting costs, it's actually larger than what a slide deck could play. But in Limited, it's really a good card. Let's see. Ambosh Krotik. Let's see, 6 mana for 5/5 trample. It is better to return another creature you control to its owner's hand. It doesn't seem that useful right now. 6 for 5/5 trample is okay, but what you'd really want to do is have something else you can cast for that 6 mana. It's okay in Limited because you might end up with a combo, like if you manifest something and you do want to cast it, you can pull it back up to your hand with the Krotik. The only thing I don't like is it's Ambush Krotik, but it doesn't have Flash. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just about at that point where we're going to have uncommons. Let's see, we've got Goreswine, another vanilla creature that's worthwhile. 4/1 for 3. That triggers a lot of Ferocious, obviously. And here we go. So now we're getting into uncommons. Vault Breaker. A red draw spell. Once again, it's 4 mana for 4/2. 4 mana is hard to put it into a deck. This has the extra dash ability, and when it attacks, you can discard a card and draw a card. That actually makes it worthwhile because you might have an extra land you don't need anymore, and discarding it to draw something else is really, really good ability. Even Blue wishes it could do that all the time. Next card is Neutralizing Blast. Counter target multicolored spell. Nice way to get rid of things. Actually, the 1/1 blue counter spells have gotten a nice boon from the last couple of sets. Neutralizing Blast is a good choice, I think. If you know what multicolored cards like the Ascendancies and Combo, and it's just, it is a good card. Let's see. Mardu Woe Reaper. Whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, exile target creature card from the graveyard. If you do, you gain 1 life. This helps get rid of Delve. Helps you deal with a lot of cards, actually. Looks like we might have gotten a foil in this. Mardu Woe Reaper, though, it's, 2/1 for 1 white. It's a human warrior. There's just a lot of things you can do with it. Actually, it should be a land underneath it. And Palace Siege. 5 mana. Siege. As Palace Siege enters the battlefield, choose Cons or Dragons. Cons at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Dragons at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Those are both solid choices right now. Being able to return a creature card from a graveyard to your hand is actually pretty good. You can build a deck around that. Of course, getting extra life out of it. In multiplayer, this could be pretty good to just kind of deal with. Well, as far as dealing with things is up for grabs. You can say it deals with creatures. You could build a deck around sacrifice creatures to deal with things. You could deal with life gaining or life loss. I guess it kind of takes care of Oloro, but I don't know. Last card's probably a land, and it is Bloodfell Caves. Bloodfell Caves enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Taps for black or red. Well, I think that's what it is. Oh well. Palace Siege, interesting. A lot of interesting cards for Limited. Interesting cards for Standard. Anyway, I know I've just basically talked for an entire pack opening, but hopefully you saw something good, you saw something interesting. Maybe it gave you inspiration to put into a new deck. Alright, and happy shuffles, or gosh, I really need to come up with a better ending thing to say for these videos, but I hope your games go very well. Take care, everybody.